What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Will Smith has been trending for all the wrong reasons. This one is also very interesting, okay? And it has to do with this lady, Stockard Channing, a woman who is many years his senior, at least 25. But Will Smith releases something that is very, very interesting. And I want to talk about the African-American community, African-American men dating interracial, and things like that. I want to first start off with Bill Cosby. There's a popular YouTuber here by the name of Obsidian Media Network, and he said that Bill Cosby really liked white women. We know that because of the women who testified against him were almost all white. But he said at the time that Bill Cosby was coming up in a racially segregated society. It would have behooved him to deal with Camille Cosby, although he may not have been attracted to her as much because of her phenotype, because of her race. He would have been more attracted to white women, but because of the culture and how he would have been viewed in the black community, he decided to marry Camille and have his fun with the white women. Now, this is something that was very interesting with Will Smith, because Will Smith was dating Pepper from Salt and Pepper. And remember, he loved her, but she left him for Tretch because she said that Tretch was a little bit more street, more of a thug. And then, you know, what happened with that? Tretch ended up beating on her and they ended up splitting. And so that left Will Smith in a bind. He got married. And then there is this movie called 6 Degrees of Separation, where he met this lady, Stockard Channing. She's now in her 70s. Okay. And she had a brand new he had a brand new baby, and, you know, basically fell in love with her, and he wanted to see and speak to Stockard. Now, this is a man in the prime of his life, you know, 23, 24, if that. Okay. Why was he in love with this older white woman? At 24, a woman who is 24, 25 years his senior. Now we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Okay. And this is the rabbit hole that many black men go through, that many sisters have not picked up on it yet. Now, while Stockard Channing is not, would say, in her heyday, an unattractive woman, she's, in my opinion, never really been a beauty queen. Okay. She's been at the best. Okay. At that time, she was just, maybe okay. But see, I believe that it was the way that she talked to Will Smith, the things that she had to talk to him about, the experiences that she had as a woman. I believe what Will Smith experienced was a different side of femininity that he's never experienced before. I would argue that he's never experienced it again. Okay? Never experienced it again. And that's what happens when a lot of black men meet somebody of a different race from a whole different lifestyle, a walk of life. I've seen it here, even in Poland. I've never talked about it so much, but when I first came here, before I started YouTube or was YouTubing, there was a young lady that I had met my first night in Warsaw, September 16, 2015. And she was a bartender and very, very nice and stuff like that. And she was from Silesia, but she was living up here. And just for whatever reason, I felt like this young lady, I could really end up probably dating her. And we just had a really, really good connection that day. And I just didn't ask for the phone number. I think the reason why is because I knew what the outcome would have been to bring somebody like that home to my community. This is Will Smith's issue. Now, I've never really been interested in a white woman, but that was the one time I can tell you, okay, that I kind of felt like, oh, this young lady is. It could have been just me being there, but over the years, I've always had a preference for my own people. I've always had a preference for my own women, but I can see how that can happen because I see it here all the time. When you deal with a woman that is showing you a different side of something that you've never experienced, some guys never go back. But brother Will Smith, in the 90s, it was a guy from the black community to marry a white lady is considered career suicide, even at that time. To come from the hip hop era and you have a white wife, and the 90s is still a big problem. I want to mention a YouTuber here, Brandon Tatum. I've done some few shows with the guy. Me and Brandon differ differently politically. I like Brandon Tatum. He's a nice guy. He says a lot of things that me and him definitely don't agree with. But as a personal YouTuber, personal guy, as a talented guy, I like him. Brandon Tatum talked about when he first went to the University of Arizona and the things he got exposed to. Just dealing with white women, white people in general. It was different. He did things that he never did before. He talked about things he never talked about before. And I'm not saying that all whites are like that or all blacks are like that, but just in the case. And that's how I think that Will Smith fell in love with an older white woman who, wasn't the best looking lady at that time. And that's how a lot of successful black men end up in the arms of another woman. It's not even about her beauty. You see it all the time. Why are these, successful black men, you're dealing with these white women? Because these white women are coming sometimes with a lot more femininity in certain cases, understanding how to respect a man, appreciating a man's time. I'm just going to call it like it is. This is something that a lot of black men are talking about. And then when you know what you're dealing with at home, and your woman doesn't come from that experience, it can be challenging. And many guys feel, especially in the 90s, what am I going to do if I bring a white woman home? I can't leave my wife and marry somebody. I can't end up being like Sidney Poitier. End up being a sellout. No, I can't end up being like that guy. I can't do that. I can't be like Bayard Russ and then, somebody knows that I'm gay or something like that. At the time, those two things, that was career suicide at that time. And I would argue in the 90s, in the black community, Will Smith with a white, it was career suicide. But I think that what happened was it was conversations and treatment that he never saw that he got to experience. And then he fell in love with an older white woman. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.